let's talk about the Grudge, or Ju-on the Grudge, from Japan, and is the original Grudge before they put it out in America and made an American version of it. And brief history on those movies that I've seen. I have seen the 2004 and 2006 Grudge movies that were the American ones, and I remember liking them. I think they were entertaining, and watching this one, because it's like the original one from Japan, I was really interested, and I've seen parts of like the second one, the Japanese one, so I kind of knew what I was going in for in terms of like how it's different than the American version, and also similar. There's a lot of similarities to this to the original American version as well. So, but if you don't know what The Grudge is, which I don't know how anybody doesn't if you're a horror fan, The Grudge is like this supernatural being that infects people and like supernaturally kills them and possesses them. And it's really interesting and fascinating. I really like the idea of it. I think it's really awesome. And it's a really just unique idea. A grudge literally like caning hold of you and like keeping you in its grip, becoming just this thing. I thought that's so cool. Um, the thing I appreciate about this one, and not to diss the American one, but the American one is more Americanized. But in this one has a lot of effective, quiet moments in it, and I love how Ju-on, like, how this thing is so, how maniacal it is with like planning like this, like whenever it's following somebody, it really works a lot in this movie because it really builds up the tension in a way where it's really good because of the quiet moments, because they're just the showing the grudge like in random things whenever there's no jump scares. There's no jump scares in this movie, which again is great. And it's like you just see it in the background. I think that's really cool. There's one shot which is really cool where there's one character who's taking care of an older man in a wheelchair, and she's rolling him around while he's just going peekaboo, peekaboo, like saying that to himself. And then there's a shot of the door opening with the reflection on the door, and he's saying peekaboo to the grudge. Like, it's just right there, and there's no jump scare or anything. I think that's fantastic. I think that actually makes it creepier. And moments like that, just like it's there, but nobody notices it's there. And I think that that's a really cool, effective thing for it. And like the 2004 American movie, it's like it does the same thing where it is just a group of people getting taken and possessed by this thing. So I think that it's kind of really similar to the American one, but it's I need to rewatch that one to really notice the differences. But in this one, I think that also I think the Grudge is more scarier in this movie. I think that the noise it makes in this movie is scarier than the American version. That just weird noise it makes with its mouth. I don't know how to explain it, but it actually is really freaky and it really works in a really good way. And the cat squeal, which is in the American one too, but I think this does it better with the movie as a whole. From what I remember from the other one, I feel like this one is a better one. Even though I just watched this one for the first time, I feel like I like this one more than the American one. It just had a lot more great tension, a lot more quiet moments, and since it's its own thing in another country, I feel like it's not Americanized and it doesn't have, and again, not to diss the American one, but I feel like this one is more creepier looking, if that makes sense. And I really just like how it works. It's just a fascinating movie, and it's really a fascinating villain, and I really like this villain a lot in this movie and in the other ones that I've seen. And I just think that it works really well in this, and I think that it's scary and it's effective and fascinating. Like, just an interesting movie. I wasn't ever bored. It's only an hour and a half, but I really was invested in changing it up every to two different groups of characters. It just kept going back to this character, this character, this character, encountering the grudge. So it got interesting and stayed interesting, and I really like that. Really did enjoy this one. This was a really good horror movie, and it's one that I really didn't expect a lot of, because again, the American one's fine, but I don't love it. But this one I really liked a lot more. So that's a plus, I guess. Really did enjoy this one. This was a great watch, especially for a first watch for this month. So that is my review on Ju-on the Grudge. Tell me down below what you guys think of the movie.